Hi everyone, my name is Corinne Carew. I'm a student at SDG for the Full Stack Web Development Program. The app I created is called DineWithMe. Its purpose is to alleviate that problem that I know everybody has. They ask their significant other or their friend to lunch and they can never decide where they want to go. This app is for that very problem. So you can sign users up, but I've already made 2 users, and usually you'd use a phone number. But for right now, just to keep track of everybody, the 2 users that we are using for this example, I just had them have user C phone and user B phone. In the future, I'd really like for this app to be able to text that person when they get a request or text that person when they have agreed on 2 different restaurants. And you will see what I mean in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and log user C in, and this is their home page. So we have user C and user B. What you would do in this app is you would click make a dine request, and you'd go in here, request user B. Maybe we want to go tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. for a lunch party. All right, so you'd send that request, and to make sure you've sent your request, you can come down here to pending request, and you can see that you've asked user B to dine with you for lunch party tomorrow at 12. And you can always go ahead and delete this request if you end up not being able to make it, if something comes up. But unless you delete this request, it's still going to show up for user B. So we're going to go over here and refresh user B's page. And so here you can see user C is requested to dine with you for a lunch party tomorrow at 12. You can deny this if you can't make it, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead and accept it. And this is where the tender aspect of my app comes into play. So you kind of get to choose yes or no, just like you'd swipe yes or right on Tinder. You'd go, I like ceviche, so sure, I'm going to say yes to that one. I'm not really in the mood for Mexican, so no. That lobster looks good, so sure, I like surf and turf, and so on and so forth. So you kind of just go through these. These are 10 hard-coded restaurants. I use Postgres to put them in. And if you notice, you can see there's a picture of the restaurant, the name of the restaurant up here, how expensive it is, what type of food, and where it's located. All right. And so user B has accepted the request. They have said yes or no to their restaurant. So we're going to go back over to user C. Go ahead and refresh their page, and you will see that user B has accepted your dine request for lunch party. So now you have to go ahead and choose your restaurants. So I'm just going to choose these randomly, and again I use Postgres to put these in. In the future, I'd really like to hook this up to a Yelp API so that maybe you could like click this picture and a link to Yelp comes up where you can see the different reviews and maybe look at the menu items. So, all right, and once you both have completed your restaurant pickings, you can come down here and you can see that you've agreed to these restaurants. So you and user B have agreed to these restaurants for lunch party tomorrow at 12. We've agreed to ceviche, Park Shore Grill, Hawkers, and Bodega. All wonderful choices in St. Pete. So at this point, user C would text user B and say, hey, I see we've agreed on these 4 restaurants, but I really like Park Shore Grill, so let's meet up there. And so it kind of helps narrow the choices down, and it helps with being able to choose where you want to go eat. In the future for this app, I'd really like to be able to narrow this down to 1, maybe by a rating system, or maybe even just go back through the restaurants. So maybe the users can go through these restaurants and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, and the one that both of them scale the highest, that's the one that they go to. But for right now, with the time constraints that I had, this is how we're gonna use this app for right now in beta version. I also would like to show you how you can deny a request. So I'm just going to go ahead and do user B again. And I'm going to say deny this request and send. So you can see down here you have a pending request, right? And we want to deny this request. So I'm going to go back over to user B, reload their page, and for whatever reason, user C cannot get to they can't make it to this dining request. They can't go, so they're going to go ahead and deny that. And in the future, I'd really like to make a reschedule option. That would be in a future version. So we come back over to user C, reload their page, and you can see down here that user B has denied your request for deny this request. So you can either reschedule by clicking the link back up here, or just go ahead and delete this request. And that is my app. That's DineWithMe. I would really like to add different features. Like I said, I'd like to connect this to a Yelp API, maybe be able to narrow these restaurants down, and also be able to reschedule a request on the denier side. So that is DineWithMe, and I use JavaScript, React.js, and .NET to create this program.